Melting giants, Himalayan glaciers face catastrophic loss, threatening millions. New report warns that the world's highest peaks in the Himalayas could lose up to 80% of their volume by 2100, posing dire consequences for communities and freshwater sources. Welcome to News Unplugged, your source for the latest news from around the world. Today, we bring you a shocking report that has raised alarm bells for the future of the world's highest peaks in the Himalayas. The International Center for Integrated Mountain Development, ICIMOD, has released a new study highlighting the imminent danger faced by these majestic mountains. Let's dive into the details. Titled, Melting Giants, Himalayan Glaciers Face Catastrophic Loss, Threatening Millions. The report reveals that under worst-case climate scenarios, these iconic peaks could lose up to 80% of their volume by the end of this century. The consequences would be profound, impacting millions of people across the region. Glaciers in the Hindu Kush and Himalaya mountain range have already been melting 65% faster in the 2010s compared to the previous decade. This alarming trend suggests that rising temperatures are already taking a toll on these icy giants. The Hindu Kush and Himalayas are the source of 12 rivers that provide fresh water to 2 billion people in 16 countries, including China, India, and Pakistan. However, the report warns that if the melting continues at this pace, the excess water could eventually lead to scarcity. The study's findings are even more disconcerting when compared to a previous report published in 2019. Even in the most optimistic scenario, where global warming is limited to 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels, the region would still lose at least one-third of its glaciers. Sadly, the updated projections show that these estimates have worsened. The report highlights that with just 1.5 to 2 degrees Celsius of warming, the Himalayan region could lose 30% to 50% of its volume by 2100. However, if global warming breaches 3 degrees Celsius, glaciers in Nepal and Bhutan are at risk of losing a staggering 75% of their ice. And with just 1 degree more, that figure rises to a staggering 80%. According to predictions from the World Meteorological Organization, the annual mean global near-surface temperature for the next few years is expected to be significantly higher than the average from 1850 to 1900. This highlights the urgent need for action to prevent further temperature rise. The consequences of inaction are not limited to the environment alone. Around 240 million people live in the Hindu Kush Himalaya region, with many depending on glacial waters for their livelihoods. The accelerated melting would lead to flooding of farmlands downstream and subsequent periods of drought, as water sources dry up. The report also warns of increased risks of floods, landslides, and avalanches as the erosion of glacial slopes intensifies. This endangers the lives of millions residing in mountain communities, who often lack access to immediate disaster response due to the remote and rugged terrain. The effects of climate change extend beyond human lives. The diverse ecosystems in the Himalayas, encompassing tropical and subtropical rainforests, temperate coniferous forests, and cold deserts, are home to unique species. Adverse climate changes are threatening these delicate habitats, leading to the extinction of 14 butterfly species in Pakistan's Murray Hills and impacting endemic frog species. The time for action is now. Professor Salim Ul-Haq, Director of the International Center for Climate Change and Development, emphasized the urgent need for progress in mitigation, adaptation, and addressing loss and damage. We cannot afford to stand still or go the wrong way while the consequences of inaction accelerate every day. The ICIMOD's Deputy Director General, Isabella Koziel, has called on global leaders to act swiftly to prevent catastrophe. With 2 billion people in Asia relying on the water provided by the glaciers and snow in the Hindu Kush Himalayas, the loss of this cryosphere would be devastating. Stay tuned for more updates on this critical issue as we continue to monitor the developments and actions taken to safeguard the world's highest peaks and the livelihoods of millions. Thank you for joining us on News Unplugged. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more important news stories. Together, let's stay informed and make a difference.